Hi, this is Mike, and this is my trading journal for August 22nd, 2013. And today I'll talk about my trades. I also want to talk about how I feel about my trading right now, where I think it's going, what I need to improve, what am I doing right. We'll talk about my trades real quick first. Saw this second two-leg pullback to the moving average trend line. Took that right there to limit order. Came up here, it failed, and sharply reversed right here and pulled back one more time. And then once this failed again, pulled back, I went ahead and exited it at 1 pip profit, and then chopped around some more. And then the second trade I saw, I had this channel. This was confusing to me. I'll explain my feelings about this later on. But anyway, I had this trend line coming off right here, and I didn't have these at the time either. So anyway, I had that trend line. I took this out with stop. I entered right here. It went up, pulled back. It looked like it was going to stop me on my stop right down here, and this started to look really weak. I didn't see any bullish strength, and once it pulled back right here, I went ahead and raised my stop and exited. At a little bit better than break even, less than 1 pip. But that's all I saw. Everything else was pretty tricky for me later on in the day. It's really easy to look back and say, okay, that trade worked, it should have taken it, but I'm having a difficult time with Forex right now, trying to find different entries. And I'll explain why. When I was trading the ES and NQ, you can see a lot of entries coming off the trend lines and finding different support. But recently, I think I've had a harder time finding those areas of support and resistance while trading Forex. So it's leaving me kind of blind. Lots of trades have been successful after the trend line breaks, and that requires an adjustment of the trend line. But it's hard to tell, at that moment if that new trend line is even acceptable, if it's even valid. Sometimes I have no idea, so I just skip those type of trades. And what I've been noticing recently is those type of trades have been the most successful trades out there. It's the ones that are bouncing off my perceived trend lines that don't go too far, and I have to either exit it to break even, or I'm just directly wrong and I take a loss. Right now I'm trying to swing for at least 2 times risk. Usually it's more than that. I try to base my targets off of some type of support or resistance, opening of the day, close of the day, close of yesterday, stuff like that, or measured move targets. Leg 1 equal leg 2 moves. I've been trying to base them off of that. But my entries depend on being directly off support or resistance. I like to take second entries. So, for example, when I saw these 2 entries, I thought those looked okay. I didn't want to take them because I wasn't sure where I'd have to put my stop. This one was okay, but it was a reversal, and I generally don't like to do reversals. I like to go with the trend. But I was definitely looking at that, wondering whether or not I should take it. I probably should have, but I skipped it. The second one I saw was this, I guess you could call it a low 1, short, not quite at the trend line, not at the moving average. I thought maybe it can get back to the moving average, and maybe we're going to be in a trading range and have it bounce anyway. So I just skipped that. Anyway, we have this bear channel this trend line coming down. We had to break that, and I'll show you what I had in there initially. Okay, so basically I had that. I guess it's a pretty steep bull channel. I was open to the fact that it could be wider, maybe down here. I could have adjusted it, but anyway, we broke that initial trend line and came up here, test, and I thought we're gonna come down and test the low before coming up and reversing, or possibly just staying in the trading range. that point I was confused, so I didn't even take any of this stuff. But once this thing shot up, I said, okay, maybe that's the new trend line right coming off right there. So I went ahead and made the channel coming right there. And I didn't have that at the time either, so okay, by that time I drew that channel was somewhere right here. But I am looking for swings, and this channel kind of blinded me to the fact that it could keep moving up. So I could have went long anywhere around here technically, but I didn't see it. I didn't see how it was worth it at the time. I thought maybe we would just chop around, and we still didn't retest this low, so I didn't want to take any of those. But anyway, we came up and we broke out of the top of that channel right here. We had some resistance and tried to get back in, but it was strong and broke out right here. And at this point, I'm kind of used to seeing this more often. I just took that top of the channel off, doing this deeper trend line, and waited to see if we can get a bounce off that trend line or the moving average. I was thinking about taking the second entry long down here, but we weren't quite at the moving average because we're not at the trend line, so I just skipped it and we pulled back right here. And this is the entry I took. I think I already explained this one. But then we had a break, and then here's where I was wondering how could have I entered in this trade, because yeah, I had this trend line in here, broke it, and we just chopped around. And I didn't feel comfortable taking any of these trades down here, just because of all the overlap. And even taking along all the way up here, I didn't feel like it was worth it, because I thought there's a chance that we're just going to bounce off this bear trend line and make another leg down and maybe be in a bear channel. So I was confused on that part. We broke back into this old trend line, broke above that bear channel right here, and I guess I could have taken that, but generally I don't. I guess you can go on a low one, high one, long right here. Wasn't sure how to approach this. I knew I'd have to use a wide stop. I'd feel comfortable to stop all the way down here, but I need to look into taking those type of trades more often. But it didn't look right to me, so I skipped it and it broke out strongly, and the channel ended up being something like this. Came up and tested it again, and by this time I just called it a night. But basically what I'm trying to say is I'm not finding these entries like I want to. Here's the Japanese yen last night too. Again, I started, I think this entry was good, but I wasn't trading at the time. I had this trend line coming up through here, and I could enter there, second entry here, could have even entered there, but I wasn't trading at the time. Granted, those were good entries, but after I started looking at the market at about 12, somewhere around here. We already had the trend line break, and we had all this choppy overlap. So when I see this, I generally just want to stay out of the market. We broke out again. I adjusted this trend line, made a channel. We'd come at least test it. We didn't quite make it up there, but I think that this channel is valid. But I'm having a hard time seeing these cool entries because of this overlap and choppiness. It's just like a red flag to me. I just want to stay out of the market when I see this type of price action. There are entries, but I'm looking for a swing. I didn't think I'd quite get it. So even if I did want to enter, and that there will be trend continuation, I'd have to probably use a really wide stop somewhere down here, I'd imagine. So yeah, I'm confused with what to do right now. I ordered Bob Bowman's book. We Al Brooks's book again, and watch that video course he made a couple more times to see what I'm missing here. But I'm definitely missing a lot of solid entries, and I spend most of my day waiting. I can talk about what I am doing right, at least what I perceive as doing right is I'm cutting my losses a lot shorter. But I am taking a lot of losses mixed in with one or two good swings. But I'm not satisfied with how things are going, so I need to try to educate myself a little more and try to figure out how to capture these other entries, maybe find different types of setups. So I look forward to reading Bob Bowman's book. Hopefully that will give me a better insight, and also wonder whether or not I should just outright just go for scalps instead of look to swing. So I have some thinking to do about that. Open to any suggestions. So hope I made it clear. So anyway, thanks for listening, guys.